Shout out to G-Man Boxing.
Alright, people. So Joseph Parker was recently, he was interviewed by Sky. It was him and Barry Jones. I think it was Andy Clark who was doing the interviewing as well. But he was talking about obviously his upcoming fight with Jack Massey, being in training for that, and they spoke about somewhat of a, you want to call it fall from grace, the fact that he was up there with all the sanctioning bodies, now he's down lower. And they obviously showed highlights of all of his fights, all of his crowning moments in his career, his win over Andy Ruiz, a couple of his early wins when he was on the come up. They also showed the Dillian Whyte fight. When they were showing the Dillian Whyte fight, and they said, and it was a great fight, let's not beat around the bush, it was a tremendous fight. The whole show was brilliant, it was one of the best. I would say, would you go as far as say that's the best show Eddie Hearn has put on? Because it was do you remember the Dillian Whyte, Joseph Parker card? That whole card was just, from start to finish, it was just brilliant. It was absolutely fantastic. That might be the best card he's put on. Because there wasn't a moment on that card, there wasn't a fight on that card that wasn't memorable. There wasn't something that happened. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. It was the middle of July, wasn't it? 2018. 4 and a bit years ago. It was crazy. But that fight was brilliant. And when they brought up to Joseph Parker, he said that is the fight he wants more than any other fight, is the Dillian Whyte rematch. That's the one he wants. And he even stated that after he beats Jack Massey, that's the fight he's going for. That's the fight he's looking for. That's the fight he wants. The Dillian Whyte rematch. Now, he's mentioned Dillian Whyte a few times throughout his career since that fight. And I've always said, you can go back and watch some of my videos, I've always said that if they'd have had a rematch, and this is some would say pre-Fury, but you could probably make the strong argument that the Povetkin knockout was what really that was the nail in the coffin for Dillian Whyte. Some people would argue that. So you want to say pre-Povetkin. I always felt that if they had fought again in a rematch, Joseph Parker would have won. Because Joseph Parker is the more talented of the two. You saw that. You saw that jump out at you, the difference in speed and talent. Early on in the fight, in the first round, it was like, whoa, there's a speed difference here. Serious speed difference. You seen it just jump out at you. But as the fight went on, Dillian Whyte with his roughhouse tactics, Joseph Parker with his real, what was it? It's like, you ever see that scene in Coming to America? Where they're at this show and everyone's just cheering, and you have Akeem there, Eddie Murphy plays him, and he's just like, I'm very happy to be here. That's kind of what it was like with Joe Spar. He was just like, I'm just happy to be here. Just happy to be here. That's kind of what it was like. Just nonchalant, I'm really happy to be here. That's how he was like in that fight. Until the last round when he finally, really decided to go for it. I think with Joseph Parker now, under Andy Lee, it's kind of hard to give a proper assessment of him under Andy Lee. I've always felt that his lack of aggression has been a big issue. With him under Andy Lee, I don't necessarily know if the aggression side of it is the problem. Obviously, he was able to drop Chisora a few times. He did look better second time around against Chisora, albeit he didn't finish him. That was early under the tutelage of Andy Lee. That was very early under his guidance. They hadn't even had a year together. And then he obviously goes into the Joe Joyce fight and gets beaten pretty badly, stopped in the 11th. But I feel that under Andy Lee, his problem now is that he's fighting way above his natural weight and the weight that he's at his optimum with. He's spending... Look, Andy Lee is obviously part of team. I think he's been in Fury's corner a few times. Obviously not as the trainer, but just to help there. I think they're cousins. So he's training up there in Morecambe with the Furies. And I think he's following the Fury blueprint too much. Joseph Parker was someone who always wore fly gloves. When he started training with Andy Lee, he switched to Paffin Sport, which is obviously Tyson Fury's glove. Tyson Fury was someone who, when he was with Ben Davison, was coming in the 250s, he's boiling himself down to get to that, so pack on a lot more weight, and he's looked better. But Fury didn't go from fighting out of a lead into 250s, do a load of strength and resistance training to pack on a lot of muscle, to come in at 270, whatever it was, 72, 73 against Wilder in the rematch. He didn't do that. What Fury did was he just didn't focus on weight loss and just came in at his natural walk around weight And that was that. With Joseph Parker, he's looking more muscly now than ever and a little bit more fleshy as well. And it just doesn't do him. I've always said, even when he was in the 240s, Joseph Parker's at his best when he's in the 230s. He has his foot speed, he has his hand speed, he's got his mobility, he's his punching power. He's at his best when he's in the 230s. That's just... no one is going to convince me otherwise. I've seen too many bad performances of him when he's in the 240s. Never mind the 250s. No one's going to convince me otherwise. Joe Parker in the 230s, that's when he's at his best. That's when you see all his ability really shine. And I think now, with Joe Parker, that's something that he's going to need to get back down to that. And then we'll see how the aggression looks. In terms of him versus Dillian Whyte, as I said in midweek report, I feel as though Dillian Whyte is going to have a target on his back from promoters now. Whether it be Eddie Hearn, whether it be Frank Warren, or whether it be Ben Shalom. Not because they want him to fight for them because they see a chance of, managing or promoting a future world champion. Because they see guys that are in their stable who they can say, hang on a second, we can get a big fight with Dillian Whyte, he's a big name, and our guy is going to beat him. So I can see a Shalom, a Warren, obviously Hearn wants to get him in there with Joshua in the summer. I can see all them looking to get their guys in with Dillian Whyte. The question is, what route does Dillian Whyte go? Because at the end of the day, Dillian Whyte, he works, I believe, on a fight-by-fight basis with Matchroom. He can go and do his own thing if he wants. He can go to Warren, he can go to Shalom, he can go to Top Rank for all we know. But it's going to be interesting. In terms of Parker versus Whyte, I doubt very much we'll get that. I'd say, look at whichever route Dillian Whyte decides to go. I mean, like, with Joshua, it's, unless like Ben Shalom or Frank Warren really want to get the checkbook out and probably take a loss on a show, realistically, probably take a loss on a show, he's going to fight Joshua if he wants the big money. If he wants a world title fight, then he's going to fight Daniel Dubois. It's as simple as that. And for Joseph Parker, I mean, like, Ben Shalom would really have to come with the checkbook for that, but would they be able to do that at this stage on pay-per-view? I doubt it very much. Doubt it. They still do it on pay-per-view, yeah, but they wouldn't probably get that good buys, I wouldn't imagine. So Joseph Parker calling out Dillian Whyte, wants that rematch. That's the fight he wants more than any. It was a great fight the first time. I've no doubts it'd be a good fight the second time. Would we get it? I don't know. If it did happen, just say hypothetically, if it did happen, I'm picking Parker to win that fight, definitely. 100%. 100%. I would have picked him pre-Povetkin, but now definitely looking at Dillian Whyte, yeah, Parker's probably seen better days as well, but yeah, I'd be confidently picking Joe Parker to beat Dillian Whyte this time around. Very confidently. I've said it a long time that Joseph Parker is very frustrating heavyweight to watch. You see all this talent, and you're always expecting a big performance, and you just don't get it. Decent punch resistance, very decent. Power, speed, footwork, ability, technique. He's everything you'd want in a fighter, and he just never seems to put it together for whatever reason. Anyway, leave it with that. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Parker versus Whyte, you think we'll get it in 2023? I have my doubts. If I was a betting man, I wouldn't be betting on it, but you never know. I've seen people make some crazy bets and boom, they've come out a lot happier, put it like that. Let me know yours in the comments. Hope you enjoyed it, people. Smash the like button if you could. Hit subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. For now, lads and lasses, I'll talk to you. Peace.